Good morning, everybody. This is a live emergency briefing with a snowstorm, big time snowstorm that is happening in Oklahoma. And those winter storm warnings have been expanded to include the Oklahoma City metro area. Here you can see some footage from Jimmy Taylor. And that is Joel's dad out there in the Elk City area. He is battling the elements this morning, getting up before sunrise to feed those cattle. You can see some moderate snow still continues to fall in Elk City with that deformation zone band there just to the north of the upper level low. A very bulbous 500 millibar Vort Max that's going to track right along the Red River. And that's a perfect track for Oklahoma City to get big time snow from this. 3 to 5 inches of snow is the current forecast for Oklahoma City and the winter storm warning area. But just beautiful scenes of winter you can see from Elk City. This again was taken by Jimmy Taylor out there just outside of Elk City on the beautiful Taylor Ranch, feeding all those happy cattle out there in the snow. Look at the little birds flying about as well. But he definitely had to battle some slippery roads to get out there so far this morning. Snowfall rates have been over an inch per hour in some locations. Pretty heavy snow falling. Even some reports of thunder sleet just to the south of Elk City earlier this morning. And we're going to break down the forecast models here. We're going to break down the radar, the new alerts as well. Winter storm warnings, as expected, have been expanded to include the Ozarks of northwestern Arkansas that we thought was going to happen last night as we were breaking down those models. But here are the winter alerts. You can see the winter storm warning that is in pink here. Elk City still getting hammered by that deformation zone band snow. That's the location of Jimmy Taylor's video. And this winter storm warning includes all of I-40 from Oklahoma City to the west to the Texas border right there. That's where that winter storm warning ceases there right at the Texas-Oklahoma border. And Jimmy said it's going to take until early afternoon to get everything fed out there with those cattle, given the conditions in this deformation zone, snow zone just to the north of the upper level low that's going to be tracking right along the Red River. And this all is going to come through central Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City. That winter storm warning, though, does not include Norman. Norman is just in a winter weather advisory up there. The winter storm warning also stops just to the west of Tulsa, but it's an expanded east to the Bartlesville area there, including portions in the entire Osage County. And then you've also got the winter storm warning that's been added to the higher terrain here of northwestern Arkansas, the Ozarks out here with that cold blob of air with this upper level storm system. The higher terrain is going to squeeze out some higher snowfall totals. Most of these are for 3 to 5 inches of snow. Some of the models, though, have even shown higher totals. And here you can see the warm advection regime out here, vorticity advection as well, and some warm advection pumping to the north of this vort that right now is located to the southeast of Childress. They're pretty close to that Red River. But quite a bit of convection here with that rain snow line dropping off to the south. There is a bit of a warm nose of air coming in here that is going to delay the changeover to snow, at least just to the east of the Oklahoma City metro until you get to the higher terrain out here in northeastern Oklahoma into northwestern Arkansas. Some flashes of lightning as well in this. This is all rain down here, snow off to the north. You can kind of see that feathery appearance, modeled appearance to the radar reflectivity, showing you where the precip is falling as snow and where it is falling as rain out there. And this is definitely a useful tool to kind of see where that rain snow line is happening. This is the high resolution correlation coefficient in radar. And watch as this line slides off to the southeast through the Oklahoma City metro here. There it is. That shows that changeover with snow here. This zone where these correlations drop well below 1 here, that's when you have a mixture of precipitation, a mixture of hydrometeor shapes. You have liquid rain, you got the big dendrites, you just have a mixture of precipitation, and you can see that line slide off to the southeast. To the northwest of it, you've got all hydrometeors out here, or all dendrites out here falling. That's all snowfall. This area where that correlation coefficient drops well below 1, that's where you have the mixed precipitation that's sliding off to the southeast there. And that's why the winter storm warning includes Oklahoma City to the north and to the west, all the way to the Texas border. And then you've got that winter storm warning here for the northeastern corner of the Texas Panhandle and including much of southwestern Kansas up near the Dodge City area. Let's take a look at some of the radar up there. I think most of the snow has already fallen up in Dodge. Yep. Moving off to the east there. Now that back edge of the snowfall is starting to pull out of the Texas Panhandle. There it is. So you can see the back edge of this snowfall all the way back into the Texas Panhandle through Shamrock down to the southeast of the Amarillo area there. This is the winter storm warning, including Elk City, Clinton, Weatherford, all the way through the Oklahoma City area along Interstate 40. So now let's take a look at these models out here. First, we'll take a look at a surface map, though, show you what's happening on the ground. Moderate snow being reported there at Oklahoma City, 32 over 31. So still a little bit of cooling to happen with that heavy precipitation falling. The dew point there at 31. Wet bulb somewhere in between 32 and 31 degrees. But pretty heavy precipitation falling. There you can see some light snow, 31 over 31 in Elk City. And then you've got heavy rain down to the south of Norman. Norman is still rain mixing with snow right now. Heavy rain, though, to the south of Norman there along I-35 with temperatures in the mid-30s. And then up here in the Ozarks, you're really going to need that higher terrain with the precipitation starting to ramp up this evening, which is a favorable timing relative to the diurnal cycle with those surface temperatures cooling as you get a little closer to sunset out there. But that's the surface map across Oklahoma. Now let's take a look at the forecast models. And we mentioned last night that this bulbous upper level low, a very compact vortex at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, tracking right along the Red River, digging southward into the Texas Panhandle, and then tracking along the Red River is the perfect track for Oklahoma City to get snow. This is right about right now. This is 15Z here, about 45. Right about now here in Oklahoma, and that vortex is diving south toward the Lubbock area. Step forward 3 hours to near midday, and that vort is diving just to the south of the Childress area. One thing with the 12Z 3-kilometer NAM model run here is this vort doesn't appear to be as intense or as bulbous as it did in the last night's run that was forecasting 7 to 8 inches of snow in the Oklahoma City area. This one looks a little bit more elongated and in this run, and I think that could lead to about a 3 to 5 inch snowfall total in Oklahoma City, maybe a little bit less than that. You can see, though, that it does try to close off another height contour there just to the south of the Red River. But this track of this vort is basically perfect for Oklahoma City to get good snow. It's moving kind of fast, which is going to keep those snowfall totals below about 3 to 5 inches. But then you can see that vort by 3Z tonight by 10 p.m. passing into southwestern Arkansas. Band of heavy snow is going to be hammering the Ozarks, the higher terrain of the Ozarks. By this time there, you can see that deformation zone there. And then it slides to the east of the area by about midnight. With still some precipitation in northeast, north central Arkansas there. A little bit further south of a track, though, depicted by the NAM, so that could decrease some of those snowfall totals into southern Missouri. But still, several inches of snow bleeding into southern Missouri and the Ozarks there to the south of Branson. The 3-kilometer NAM here is showing some incredible totals out there in that band where Jimmy Taylor is located out there in Elk City. That's where it appears that some of the highest totals are going to be found west central Oklahoma to the northwest of Oklahoma City. A good 3 to 4 inch accumulation in Oklahoma City. A lot less, though, down into Norman and especially south of there as you're getting some borderline thermodynamics and mixing into rain a little bit there. This 3-kilometer NAM has about 9 inches of snow falling in Tulsa. They're under a winter weather advisory, though. May need to expand some of those alerts a little bit east to include the Tulsa area. But I think the heaviest snow is going to fall in the higher terrain to the east and to the southeast of Tulsa into northwestern Arkansas. But this latest model can't be ignored. Probably need to expand those winter storm warnings into the Tulsa area as well, because this is also supported by the 12Z HRRR, the morning run, and it shows Oklahoma City getting hammered by 6 to 8 inches of snow, likely an even more bulbous 500 millibar vort tracking along the Red River there. Big stripe of snow similar there in Oklahoma City. Up into the Ozarks there of northwestern Arkansas. So definitely a nice agreement in the short-range models here. The 3-kilometer NAM showing a little bit less accumulation in Oklahoma City. The HRRR is probably inflated. You could probably subtract about 3 to 4 inches from these totals here in the HRRR, inflating some of those snowfall accumulation rates, especially with a borderline low-level thermodynamic environment for the rapid accumulation. But there's pretty heavy precip out there. And one thing that the NAM seems to not resolve is really this big band on the backside. So I think there's going to be greater snowfall totals out where this deformation zone is persisting out there in western Oklahoma. But with that track right along the Red River, as depicted by these morning model runs, that's perfect. Perfect track for this Vortmax. Let's see what this HRRR does. And you can see it does have a little bit stronger, more compact of a Vortmax, moving a bit slower too than the 3 kilometer NAM. Yeah, still kind of that stretched out, slightly positively tilted. It's not perfect, but it is, location-wise, it is perfect right along the Red River. And still, I'd say definitely 3 to 5 inches is just right on the mark there for the Oklahoma City area. Some higher totals. And then you can see the that 500 millibar Vort become more compact by this evening, just as it's passing to the south of the Ozarks. And I think that's going to help bring several inches of snow up there. Fayetteville, Springdale areas. And then it starts to lose its identity as it passes to the south of the Ozarks just a little bit. It reaches its peak intensity just as it's crossing the Red River to the south of Oklahoma City and to the south of the Ozarks. So this is definitely a beautiful snow event out there, but also dangerous. So you got to be careful. Take it safe out there on those roads. This is definitely, people don't a lot of times have the snow tires that are out there that we do in many other areas that get a lot of these snowstorms, and they just don't have the resources to keep the roads completely clear out there and to keep these plows going strong. That's why it just takes a few inches out there to really shut down Oklahoma. Many times we'd even have a few inches of sleet, and the university was canceled for the day. So these are high impact events, high impact snow events out there in Oklahoma. But I've seen thunder snow in Oklahoma more times than any other region. I think it's because you get that convection, the thunderstorms that slide into the environment that's cold enough for snow. Then you get the thunder sleet, the thunder snow happening out there. And usually the snowstorms in Oklahoma are associated with these intense, compact vorticity maxima and upper level storm systems with a lot of cold air aloft. And that generates quite a bit of convective instability, especially when you lift a parcel along a slantwise surface out there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to my live weather report. This is an update on the snowstorm in Oklahoma. The focus is about to shift to the nor'easter, which is going to impact that area on Wednesday night. But this system that's producing snow in Oklahoma is going to slide up the East Coast. Could bring a couple inches, hugging the coastline, including New York City, maybe southeastern Massachusetts. We'll have to keep an eye on that next. But staying focused on the Oklahoma snow event today. Hope you guys enjoy my weather reports. Snow lovers, I'm sure you're having a great Sunday out there in Oklahoma. Dominate the storm.